Okay, so let's discuss about the control file management. Okay, so this is also one of the important topics of Oracle physical architecture. So before understanding the control file management, we need to understand the startup sequences. Okay, so in a startup sequence, you might have learned so far about the database in no mount and which files are being read. So if you are putting the databases in no mount stage, so it reads the parameters files, and what it does, if you read the parameter files, it will allocate the memory structure, and it will start the background processes. Okay, and at the same time it will also update the alert log file. So these three mandatory things will take in place once you start the database in no mount stage. Okay, and this parameter file will be in use. Until now we have gone through this the parameter file managements. So now we will discuss about the control file. So control file will be used in when we put the database in mount stage. At the time of putting the database in mount stage, the control file will be used, and the last stage of the database is open. So open means it is read write or read only, it is open for normal operations. So at the time of open stage, data files and the redo log files are being used. So in these sessions we'll discuss about only control file management. So we'll see that how we can put the database in mount stage in case we lose the control file, what would be the consequences and how we can recover those, what are all possible ways to deal with the control file. So we'll try to discuss more and with practical sessions to have the more understanding about the control file. Okay, so moving ahead, here we have written something just to check out, and this is a control file is the smallest binary file in the database, and this will store the structure of database. Basically, this is a control file is also called as a heart of database because it contains the structure. I mean, it will structure means it will contains the database names and file path and the name of file and read log file and the path of that file and size. It also consists the database archive log modes. It also contains information about database is running in archive log mode or no archive log mode. We'll further discuss about all these files and all these information, but for now just try to understand that the control file is the heart of the database. It is the smallest binary file in database, and it contains the following structure of the important part of the database basically. Okay, so as I said, it contains the database name, and it contains the data file path and the data file name basically, and the redo log file names and the size of the redo files and data files, everything. Okay, and it also contains the archive logs file details. It also contains the SCN. It stores the system change number. Okay, it is also stored the LSN, the log sequence number, like the archive logs will get generated, so log sequence number will be recorded, and along with that the system change number will get recorded into the control files. Okay, and apart from that, the half part of the control file will be used for RMAN backup information. Okay, so basically control file get divided into two parts. The half parts will be used and reserved for the RMAN backup repository, and then the half of the part will be used for the structure to maintain the structure of the database. Okay, so uh, the minimum one control file is required to mount the database, to open the database. Okay, so one, because without a single control file, database will not get mounted. So it is mandatory to have minimum one, and maximum 8 control file can be created for one database. Okay, and in case control file is created more than one, so it is called as a multiplexing of the control file. Okay, so in this case each control file will have the same content. It doesn't mean that if we have more than one control file, so each control file will have different records. It is not the same. Okay, so basically all the control file, even though we have more than one, maybe maximum 8, all control file have the same content. Okay, so it will be the replica copy of same control file content, and then the everything of the control file will same in all the control file. Okay, so it is called the multiplex of the control file. So the it's suppose in case a control file is present, maybe one or more than one, if it is present or if it is okay, so database will get mounted. Okay, so we will be able to mount the database. And here we will try to understand that what are all files, what are all physical files we can multiplex. Basically, multiplex means creating the duplicate copy. Okay, so as I said, minimum one control file is required, but we can have maximum 8 control file. In case more than one control file are there, that is called as a multiplexing of the control file. Okay, so before proceeding further, we'll try to understand that in physical structure of the database, what are all files are there. First is parameter file, second one is a control file, third one is a data file, fourth one is a redo log files, fifth one is archive log files, and the last one is password files. These are the mandatory and the important physical files or physical structure of the database. So here which files can be multiplex and which file cannot. Okay, so if we talk about the multiplexing, so parameter files not possible to do multiplexing. There are no need or there are no as such use to do the multiplexing of parameter files, but control file multiplexing is possible with the control file. Okay, we can have multiplex, I mean same name, I mean same copy, same content of the files can be created multiples, so it is called the multiplex. I mean it contains the same contents, it will have the same content, nothing extra or less. So control file multiplexing is possible, but if we talk about the data file, multiplexing is not possible. Every data file is unique, we cannot create the same content of data file multiples. Okay, so data file will be one, it will be unique. But if we talk about the redo log files, multiplexing is possible. So it means that the same content can have into the more than one uh, redo log files. So multiplexing is possible with redo log files. However, if we talk about the archive logs, yes, multiplexing is possible with archive logs. So we can have multiple archive log destination to create the same set of or same content of archive logs. So multiplexing is possible with archive logs. And but in case of the, if we talk about the password files, so multiplexing is not possible with password file, because we should have unique password files in for database to authenticate the remote super user connectivity. Okay, so this was the physical structure and the multiplexing and the possibility of the multiplexing. Okay, so if we'll conclude that, so three files are there are possibility with three files to have the multiplexing, and there are the multiplexing is not possible with the three files. Parameter file not possible, data file not possible, password file not possible. However, three files, control file, redo log files, and the archive logs files, multiplexing is possible. Multiplexing is something that same content will be there with the multiple files. Okay, so hope I made it clear until now that multiplexing and the physical structure of the database and the basic understanding about the control file. Okay, further if I move, we'll talk about, suppose if we have only one control file. Let's talk about some practical things, and we'll try to take the we'll try to discuss the possible ways to deal with control file. Okay, so it is called the control file management. Okay, so if we have more than one control file and that control file is lost, and we don't have any control file backup, plus we don't have any multiplex control file, what will be the situation? Okay, so usually this is an interview questions for L1 DBAs. Okay, so basically if there is a question, or if this is a situation, not the question, there is a situation, you have only one control file and that we have lost, and unfortunately we don't have any backup of control file. Okay, none of the backups are there, and we don't have any multiplex file. What will be the situation? Okay, so before understanding the possible ways to deal with, let's discuss or learn how to create the control file manually in case there is a situation. So just to understand that, in case we lose the control file, in case control file is lost, so we will get this error while putting the database in mount stage. We'll get the error aura 00205, error in identifying the control file, and it will just let you to check the alert log for more information. In alert log you will get the location of control file which database is trying to locate, and that is not there because control file is lost. Okay, so it means that database will stuck in no mount stage, it will not go further because we will not be able to mount the database. It means we will not be able to open the database in case we lose the control file. So it is very important files in case we will not be able to create that, then data we will not be able to open the database. So in order to open the database in read only, or open the database for normal operations, it is mandatory to have the control file in place. Okay, so these are the possible ways to get the lost control file. One is restore from the RMAN backup. Okay, we'll discuss how we can take the backup, how we can restore from there. We will check, we'll get through the practical sessions for this one. And the other way is create with the help of user managed backup. Okay, we'll see that how we can take the user managed backup and how we can create the control file. Okay, and the third one is create with the help of multiplexing. Okay, if we have the multiplexing of the control file, how we can create it, we'll discuss, and how we can create the multiplexing. Okay, so the last one is we can create the control file manually. We can create control file manually. We'll discuss that how these four possible ways to get the lost control file, we'll discuss in detail. Okay, so uh, the high level, the structural level, that how we can take the backup, we'll talk about the first layer, the restore from RMAN backup. So before discussing about the restoration or the practical things, we need to understand that how we can take the backup of control file. First of all, maybe if we talk about the RMAN, how we can take the backup through the RMAN. If we talk about the user managed backup, how we can take the user managed backup of the control file. If we talk about the multiplexing, then again the question will arise how we can do the multiplexing. Okay, these are the terms we need to understand, that how we can have the backup or how we can have the multiplexing. If we have the setup in place, then and only then we can go and create, or we can just have the uh, control file recovered. Okay, so first RMAN backup, these are the high level steps, I mean the commands which we can use to take the backup of control file. We have to connect to the RMAN prompt. Okay, first method is we can run the backup control file, current control file. It will take the backup of the control file on the default location. Maybe if FRA is set, then it will take under the FRA. If in case FRA is not, then destination is set, then it will take the at the particular destination. If you want to take at particular destination, then we can specify the format of the control file. We can specify the location and the file name, whatever file name or backup file name we want to give, we can give it. Okay, and if you want to just give the location and the %u, it means the database name, it will just by default will create the control file backup on this location and with this names. We'll discuss and we'll test all this in practical sessions. Okay, and the next one is take the backup of control file using user managed backup. So there are two formats of the control file which we can take through the SQL prompt. One is called as a trace or text file. Another one is called as a binary file. If we take the backup, alter database backup control file to trace, it means it will take as a text or yeah, it will take as a text file. Okay, so we can edit it. If we want to take the backup of control file in binary formats, so we have to just remove it. Alter database backup control file as, it will take the backup of control file in a binary format. Okay, so these are the second part, that we can take the user managed backup. Now we'll talk about the multiplexing, how we can do the multiplexing. We have to shut down the database, copy the control file from one location to another location, and update the location of control file, the new location of the control file, update the new location of the control file in parameter file. Okay, how we can do this update of the location in parameter file? Either we can use the alter system command in if database is in no mount stage or whatever stage it is. Since we have shut down the database, so we can start the database in no mount, and we can use the alter command to update the new location into the control file, then again shut down and start up the database. The multiplexing will be created. Okay, and if we are running with p file, then we can just use the vi editor and update the p file with the new location of the control file where we have done the multiplexing, and we can again start the database. So we will do all this practical, and the last is we will create the data, I mean control file manually in case the last answer for this question will be answered by the last. Okay, so if we have one control file, if we lost that, we don't have any backup, we don't have any multiplexing, we don't have any sort of backup. So these three options will be will support only in case we have backup or multiplexing. But here the question was, we don't have any backup, we don't have any multiplexing, then how we can? So the answer of this question is the last: create the control file manually. Okay, so it means that we don't have any backup, we don't have any multiplexing, and we will create the control file. We'll discuss that how we can create the control file. Okay, so we'll go one by one, and let's discuss on command line. So we'll do the practical for all. Okay, so first of all, we have to take the backup. Okay, here database is running, and this database name is OraDB. Okay, if you want to see database details, so here we have database name. Okay, so these are the database name, and if you want to see the control file, select name from v dollar control file. This is the control file name. So we have only one control file at present in database. Okay, first of all, we'll try to take the backup of control file through RMAN. First method for us to test is RMAN target slash. Okay, we will take the backup of control file. Before taking the backup of control file, we have to identify the location. Okay, maybe we'll use the same location to take the backup. Okay, so let me connect to RMAN again, and we will take the backup of control file, like backup current control file. Okay, format, and then format means the location of the, maybe we'll use this location. Okay, from here we will create some folder. Okay, until now we will just mention this. Okay, backup, now we'll specify the backup of backup name. Okay, backup 01 rman dot ctl. Okay, so through this command, backup current control file format. Okay, so backup current control file format, at this location the control file piece got created. Okay, this is the piece handle, means the backup is created at this location, whatever location I have provided, this control file is now created. Okay, along with that there is a auto backup. Okay, control file and sp file got auto backup because of the configuration setting. So we will discuss in detail at later stage, but just would like to show that in show configuration, this is the RMAN configuration setting. So here if you can see, the auto backup is already configured. See this control file auto backup, control file auto backup is there. So if this is on, it means that it is taking the control file auto backup. So every time, whenever whatever types of backup you will take, every time it will take the control file backup. So it is always to have, it is recommended to have the control file auto backup in place, so that we can at least this was the manually taken backup. Okay, we have taken the backup of control file manually, but auto backup is on, so it will always take the backup of control file, even we are taking some other types of backup through the RMAN. Okay, so this is a recommendation to have. So we will discuss this more in details when we discuss about the RMAN. Okay, so we are skipping this now and we are exiting. So now we have the control file backup, and this is the piece handle. Okay, and here is the tagline. Okay, and comment was nothing, so I'll note it down for reference. So this is the RMAN backup piece handle. Okay, now the second option is to take the backup. I mean the second option we discuss, create the backup with the help of, I mean, user manage basically. So we'll connect with SQL plus. Okay, and here is the database name. Now we will take the backup of uh, control file through user manage method. Okay, and the user manage method is we discuss in the documents. Okay, and here is a command, alter database backup control file to trace as. Okay, so we will use same, and we will also specify the same formats where we have taken the backup, so that both the backups will be at same place. Okay, format as we can specify the location. Okay, control file, user managed, trace dot trace, we can user manage backup dot trc. Okay, so now we have taken the alter database backup control file to trace. We have taken the user manage backup of control file. This is the text file we have taken. Control file backup we have taken as a text file. Okay, so this was the second method. Okay, now since we have only one control file, now until now we have taken two types of, okay, one is backup through RMAN we have taken. We have also taken the user manage. Now we'll try to do the multiplexing. Okay, let's see how we can do it. Okay, so before going with multiplexing, we need to understand the current location of this control file. Okay, now what we will do is we will shut down the database. Okay, in order to do the multiplexing of control file, so first of all we need to shut down the database because we have to have this file consistent. Okay, if we'll try to copy this without shutting down the database, there will be inconsistency between one and another control file, so that will lead to the recovery. So it is recommended, it is important to have the database in shutdown mode in case we are going with the multiplexing. Otherwise the one control file 101 will have the some other SCN number, the other one which will create on the fly will have some other SCN number, so there will be a inconsistency between the control file. Okay, so it is always recommended to have multiplexing when database is down. Okay, so here is the original control file. Okay, this was the one and here is the original control file. Okay, if we want to do the multiplexing, we can, we can create, it is recommended to have the multiplexing on the different location, but just for demonstration I'll just create the another file here only, or maybe I'll just create a copy, we'll cp this to some other location, maybe one directory before this. Okay, maybe until here I'll paste. Okay, so what here until now what you got to know, this is original control file, and at this location I have copied one more file. Okay, this is the file name. Maybe this both the files are same name but location are different, so what I'll do is I'll just you know uh, I'll just change the name of the files so that it will give some clear picture, like this is the second file. Okay, now what you understand here is the first file is located at this location 101, and second file I have created at this another location. Okay, now database is not aware about this location. Okay, we have only one, so let me update this location to control file. How we can do it? We will start the database in no mount because database is running in parameter file, so will not be able to edit that in through the vi editor because it is sp file. So we'll use the alter system command and we'll try to update this one. Okay, show parameter control. I'll see that what are all control file is there. There is only one, so I'll use the command alter system set and the control file name, parameter name, and then the original file we have to specify. Okay, and then comma and then single quote the other file. Okay, the other file is at this location, and then this is the location of second file. What you got to know, this is the original file until aura, see this aura data until aura db, and there is control 101, this is the file, and the second file I have created in aura data. Okay, but the previous file is under aura db directory. So the first file name is 101, the second file name is 102. Okay, I have updated this one. Okay, alter system set control file equal. Okay, so what it is specified initialization parameter cannot be modified. Why it is? Because the reason for this is this, by default it is considering that scope equal to both. Okay, what I used is scope equal to sp file. See, if we are trying to update the parameter file. Okay, so before going ahead, let me clarify the things. scope equal to sp file. Okay, we need to understand if we are changing the parameter. So by default the default scope is both means what? One scope is sp file, another scope is memory. Okay, so these are the two scope of the parameter change. And default is, if will not specify any scope, so it will consider memory as well as the sp file. Okay, so default is both. So it was trying to update the parameter which is static. So whatever parameter is dynamic, that will come into the effect of memory immediately online. Memory means online. And in case of the sp file, I mean static parameter, so we have to update in sp file, and reboot is required to come into the effect. Okay, this is the basic difference. So what I did is, instead of both, or instead of memory, I have used the sp file. It means that if you'll see that, see, if you try to see, the control file name itself is only one. Okay, it is still one. There are only one control file, 101. The second file which I have just updated, 102, it is not yet come into the effect, because it is static parameter. The control file name is static parameter. What I'll do is, I'll just shut down the no mount instance. The instance which is running in no mount, I'll shut down, and I'll start into the again no mount stage, just to show you if it is created or not. Okay, and later we will try to mount it. Okay, so this is the way we can uh, create the multiplexing. So this was the third option. Okay, fourth option is something different that we have to explore, and we have to create the manually in case nothing is there. Okay, so first of all, this database is now no mounted. Now you can see one control file was there, right? 101. Now you can see, after instance restart, you can see 102. The other control file location is updated. Now we have the two control file. Okay, if you try to open the database in mount, alter database mount, if both the control files are consistent, so database will get mounted. Database altered, it means database got mounted. It it means the database control file, both the control file are same and consistent. Okay, both the control file are consistent. Okay, and now we can start the database. Okay, so this means that now we have multiplexing of control file. Okay, if you want to see the control file, may just increase the buffer so that we'll not lose anyway. So here, if you want to see, yes, you can see this. The earlier it was only one control file. If you want to see this, earlier we had only 101 control file. Now we have two control file. Okay, one is 101, another one is 102. We have two control file now. Now we will try to demonstrate the other things, that how we can, in case we lose the control file, how we can do the recovery. Okay,